Yeah, hi, good morning and good evening, everyone. So, CI/CD and Kubernetes, we reached the end stage. So, till now, just a revise of what we learned and how can we work as DevOps engineer. So, can anyone wants to speak? If you speak, after that, I will tell you. So, what are the roles and responsibilities? What is our daily job? So, actually, I already explained. Someone wants to speak. Probably if you're already working as DevOps engineer, what is the difference you are working and what we learned here? Okay, so a recap of what we learned. So first we learned Linux administration. So now we know how to log into the servers, how to check the log files, how to create users groups, checking the ports, and then checking the connections using Telnet and yeah, ping. So all these things we know, basic things, and we are able to use SCD commands. We are able to use VM editor. So we are good to work with Linux servers, Linux operating system. We have intermediate, at least intermediate level of Linux administration knowledge that is much required for DevOps engineer because all the servers we work are in Linux OS. Okay, and later we discussed one project. So the project how we learned how to install manually. Okay, so we created VMs and then we installed the necessary application runtimes like Java, Node.js, and then Python. And then uh, after that we install with shell scripting. So now we know how to write shell script, what are the exit status, writing conditions, writing for loops, and we know we practiced few shell scripts that is to delete log files, to send emails, to check the memory, all these things. Okay, so you can tell these things where you used shell script because nowadays everything is monitoring. We are not using the shell script much, but still for log rotation kind of things and some legacy system for few legacy systems, we are still using shell script, and shell script is always powerful because it is the native scripting language of Linux operating system. And after that, we learned Ansible. We know what are the we know how to write playbooks, and then we know how to write conditions loops in Ansible. We can install the applications. We can install the packages. So we can deploy applications using Ansible. So it's nothing but stopping the server and then removing the old package and copying the new package and restarting the server. That is nothing but deployment. So VM deployment always comes with the downtime. Okay, and then we at least we managed to run them without downtime using auto scaling feature in AWS. Okay, and after that we practiced Terraform for the infrastructure part. So infrastructure we are able to create through Terraform, both development and production using multiple ways. And yeah, we practiced many things in Terraform. We know how to create project infrastructure and then application infrastructure, and we are storing the parameters. So many things we did in Terraform. Okay, and yeah, we are able to write modules also that is more useful, and we are able to use open source modules. And then later we discussed Jenkins CI/CD. We started, and then we discussed shared libraries. Shared libraries are very important. Yesterday, some of you guys, like one person, his name is Rahul, I think, they published something. So earlier the scenario was like this. So DevOps engineer without shared libraries, it was very difficult to manage more projects because we need to have separate pipelines for each and every project. There is no way to implement best standards. Now with the use of shells, RoboShop shared or at least shared libraries, so you can see you can apply this pipeline for all Node.js projects. So only condition is so they should have package.json in the root structure, in the root folder. Okay. And then we can use Java EKS deployment for all projects like this. So now a single pipeline can work with any number of projects, ideally infinite number of projects. Okay, you can implement all the best standards in single place that will be reflected to each and every project. And if you want to change something here, you can change here, and then that will be reflected to the all projects. That is the advantage of shared libraries. So you must tell in interviews. So we are using shared libraries. We have shared libraries for Node.js. We have shared libraries for Python. We have shared libraries for Java. So if any project comes to us for DevOps approach, either it can be existing project or new project. So we will set up our pipelines. We'll discuss them branching strategy, and then we will do some settings in their Bitbucket or GitHub or GitLab. Okay, and then we will place some Jenkins file, maximum of 20 lines, so that can call our shared libraries. Okay, and we created EKS cluster. We know what are the Kubernetes resources. We can containerize any application, either Node.js or Java. We are able to write Docker files. We know we are able to write manifest files. We are able to use Helm controller. We know Ingress controller. We can use RBAC. We can do many things. We can use the static and dynamic provisioning. So all these things we are aware. Okay. So now the first question, what about yourself? What you do in daily projects? So yesterday we already discussed. So I'm a DevOps and cloud engineer. We will manage our project infrastructure in AWS cloud, and then we are setting up the pipelines. So we have multiple tools. Okay. Sorry, let me write that. Don't repeat exactly. Okay. Just frame your own sentences. Like, I have 4 years of experience as DevOps and AWS engineer. Sorry. We are using multiple tools in our projects. So what is it? Jenkins, Ansible, CI/CD using shared libraries, and then SonarQube and Nexus, Terraform, Docker, and Kubernetes. And we use shell scripting also. So approach we follow. So the DevOps. So these are the tools we are using. You can tell them, and whatever the approach you are using. So we implement industry best standards, shift left, and then build once and run anywhere. Okay, so you can tell this, and after that, so we used to work with developers. We develop central pipelines using shared libraries. Okay, so our job is to bring all applications under one framework. So this is the framework we are following. So you can say earlier application teams have their own DevOps engineers. For example, if you see this here, generally, so this project have one DevOps engineer. This project have one DevOps engineer. This project have one DevOps engineer. Now we no need, so we can have one DevOps team, central DevOps team, and from here we can do the pipelines and we will fix it. And now every project we will have one point of contact. Okay, so they are the DevOps engineer there, but we have more visibility than them. Okay, earlier they have to develop, they have to fix it. Now we already developed, we can fix it centrally. That can be reflected in every project. Okay, so our job is to bring all applications under one framework where we implement best practices. Okay, So we deal with multiple programming languages. And multiple deployment platforms. So we can deploy our application to the VM, or we can deploy our application to the EKS. And in future, if anything comes up with AKS or GKE also, we can do. Okay. So we have Node.js, VM pipelines, Node.js, EKS pipelines, Java VM, Java EKS, and then Python VM and Python EKS. Okay. So we will have a meeting with developers. We can understand what are their current situation, either existing project or new project. Okay. If it is existing project, so it means, so they are following till now, they are deploying without DevOps. Okay. Now they want to move to DevOps. Okay. So if their project is existing project, then we will discuss same thing, branching strategy, and then we will do some settings in their repo. So that is nothing but minimum approvals. Nobody can merge into the master without PR. So all those things you will discuss with them, you will explain them, and then you will set up it, and we will create projects in all tools. We'll create their project in all tools. What are those tools we are creating their project? One is Jenkins, and then Nexus, SonarQube, and any scanning related things like Fortify or Nexus IQ, whatever it is. Okay. And scanning things, you can say Nexus IQ and Fortify. This is open source scanning, and then static application security testing. And we will create their project in EKS also. It is nothing but namespace here. Okay. So we will create their project in all tools, and then we will keep one simple Jenkins file in their repo that can call our pipelines. So if you are able to explain this properly in 2 or 3 minutes, so then definitely they will understand the whole thing what you are doing. Okay. So how you get the work generally, how you get the work. So you will have a team leader, and you are a team of 3 to 4 members. One person is taking care of Node.js, one person is taking care of Python, one person is taking care of Java pipelines, and one person is taking care of VM deployments. Another person is taking care of EKS deployments. So like this, you will, you all of you guys know each and everything, but one of you are dedicated to something. If that person is absent, then you can handle that work. So how you get this work? So first, the other side, development team manager or development team leader will send an email to your team, like your team group email, and then your team leader will prioritize the work, and then he will assign you the work in Jira somewhere, Jira or ServiceNow, whatever, your ticket management tool or project management tool. Okay, so you guys, so your DevOps team will discuss, and then so they will pick one of you, like they will pick you to set up this. Okay, and then you will send an email. Okay, I will be taking care of your DevOps transformation, so we can discuss, and then you will discuss their you will from DevOps team. So you will go and or you and developers will meet together, and then you discuss with them. You'll explain your process, and then sorry, So you explain your process, and you will set up these pipelines, and you will be available with them until, so obviously few deployments it will be error, and you will clear the errors. You will set up the feature and master branching, and then so once it is success, they can proceed with their deployments. Okay, so now they no need your intervention, but there will be a maintenance if they face some errors like configuration errors, and where they face errors, because we are handling with a lot of tools: Jenkins, Nexus, SonarQube, Nexus IQ, Fortify, Docker, EKS. So we cannot expect all the tools are available 24/7, and there will be some network problems, firewall problems. Okay, so and new tool, you want to incorporate new tool into your pipeline, like different kind of scanning, dynamic application security testing, or something else. Okay, so our strategy is to look out into the internet about what are the best standards, what are the best tools coming up. So always we will be discussing within the team, and we'll be trying to implement with our sample hello world projects. Okay, so we should be ready. If any team, any project in our company wants latest development, latest DevOps standards, we should be ready. Okay, we cannot wait until they ask. So our intention is to keep an eye in the market, and then to develop to be ready with the best standards available. Okay, so there will be maintenance, there will be setup, existing projects transformation, by default new project. So this is a rule. So a rule, they should implement DevOps by default. Okay, so new project, anyhow, it is easy to set up. Existing projects, so they may have different business reasons. They cannot go immediately to DevOps. Okay, and maintenance obviously will be there. So after 3 or 4 months of time, maybe you will be working with 10 or 20 projects. So 10 or 20 projects are using your pipelines, your process, and then so everything they are using yours. Okay, infrastructure, everything, infrastructure also. So this is our centralized. So you have the modules available, you have the code available. So you can just simply create their infrastructure easily. They want auto scaling, if they want servers, if they want EKS, anything. Okay, so this is the whole story you have to explain for the first question answer. So how you get daily your work? So you within your team, you discuss your team leader, your team members, and then you'll prioritize the work. You'll keep a timeline like 2 weeks to implement this process, or 1 week, 2 weeks to implement this. And for one production deployment, you will be available with them. So if something fails, always you will be available to clear that error. Okay? So this is the whole story we have to explain and we have to follow. So any questions? Yes, Aravind?
Hi, Shiva.
Hi.
So, in case if they ask what are the challenges you faced in your projects, what answers we should be giving the
Challenges are nothing but so these are the pipelines, right? For example, so we are till now our DevOps was with VMs. So suddenly we got we got a work to move to the Docker and Kubernetes, right? So we are migrating from monolithic to microservices approach. So maybe you don't know Docker, you don't know Kubernetes. That is the challenge they assign for you. And you learned Docker, you learned Kubernetes on your own, like 1 or 2 months, and you implemented the pipelines. So this was the challenge. While implementing, you faced a lot of problems. And first, you directly used manifest files. When I directly use manifest files, so I cannot parameterize it, right? So and later you have to implement Helm. So in this whole process of implementation, so your challenge is to connect with network team to open the firewalls. Okay.
Okay.
So opening firewalls, setting up the new tools, and then facing challenges, the errors while we are facing. So generally more challenges will come up with network only. So we are not able to reach the other side server. Okay, so you have to understand where you sit, where you are in the network. Suppose you are in one subnet, so other tools are in another subnet, another VPC, right? So generally, tools is separate VPC. For example, an SRE will manage this one. Okay, so this is in separate VPC. So our project is in separate VPC. So we should have some peering. Okay, so you can say we have tools in another VPC and then project is in different VPC. We should have the connection between our two VPCs. So I worked with network team. So I faced a lot of challenges while opening the peering connections, adding them into the routes and security groups. And I have to take multiple kind of approvals, multiple levels of approvals. And then once the everything network is set up,
Hello.
I need to, yes. Hello. Yeah, so like this, you have to explain. These are the challenges. These are the challenges to set up. These are the challenges to face the errors. Okay. Yes, Rajashekar Reddy.
Hi Shiva.
Hi.
Recently I attended one interview.
Okay.
So they are asking GitLab CI/CD and also how to build the image. They are asking. I told building the image by using Docker. So they asked you can build the image and you can push the image to Docker Hub, but they are asking you have to build the image. You have to register the image within the GitLab.
The GitLab they are using, but it's not a rule like everybody should use GitLab, right? There are a lot of implementations, GitLab, Bitbucket, but in our syllabus we used Jenkins. GitLab CI/CD is another CI/CD approach.
Yeah, they are asking.
And there are GitHub
register-
actions, there are Bitbucket actions. So there are multiple Git implementations. They are using GitLab. You can say I'm not using GitLab, we are using Jenkins, but I can easily learn because the concept of CI/CD is same. So now you are writing pipelines here. There also you'll write pipelines. So GitLab CI/CD pipelines, you can write it.
Yeah, at the end of the discussion, he told currently Jenkins going out, so we are everyone trying to use GitLab CI/CD.
He is using GitLab. Is it a rule like everybody should use GitLab? So why then GitHub, Bitbucket, they should close their company? How can they say everybody is using GitLab?
Instead of Jenkins, they are everyone replacing GitLab CI/CD. So there we have a runners, cloud runners.
Say, not everyone. He is replacing. It's a simple common sense. If everybody uses GitLab, then what to do with GitHub, Bitbucket? So there should be no competition. So Jenkins, everybody should close their company. So that is simple. That is a silly thing. Okay. So anyhow, if you are interested, you can learn GitLab. That is nothing. But anyhow, end of the day, the concept is same. You have to write the pipeline. You have to run it. So here we are using Groovy like this. So there you will use AML format.
Yeah, I tried GitHub CI/CD as well, but how to build the image and how to register within the GitLab?
That I cannot teach immediately. Okay, so even I have to try it. So I did long back, and then I have to tell you.
Okay.
But that's not part of our syllabus. So there are a lot of CI/CD tools. You cannot go and learn each and everything. So that is for one particular interview. They are using GitLab, so they asked you the questions in GitLab. So if you are not know, if you don't know, how can you cover that? So I know Jenkins CI/CD, but the concept of CI/CD is same. I can easily learn GitLab and I can do it. So that's how you should tell.
Okay. And in Kubernetes, they, and OpenShift, they are asking. Okay.
The OpenShift, EKS, AKS, GKE, everything is a platform as a service. The original source is Kubernetes. It is 95% same. You can say I worked with EKS. It is a Kubernetes implementation. OpenShift is also Kubernetes implementation. I can easily do it. So that's how you should tell them.
Okay.
See, in every concept, we have 5, 6 tools. So do you think every tool, each and every tool you want to learn?
Yeah.
So there is no much difference. OpenShift and Kubernetes, I can say 99%. Kubernetes is the source. That's what I'm saying from the beginning of the, you should have this confidence. So
And
Linux is the operating system.
yeah.
So there are 20 distributions. Do you learn each and every distribution? So we are using CentOS, and that is nothing but Red Hat. Another project may be using Ubuntu. So do you think you have to learn Ubuntu again? And another project they may use Arch Linux. There are a lot of distributions. If you spend your time to learn each and there is nothing to learn also. All concept is always same. So you have to tell them. So I know the concept. I know how to implement it through Jenkins, and it doesn't matter for me to learn GitLab or OpenShift. There is nothing learning in OpenShift also. I can say it is exactly same, 99.9% same. We use DKS. Maybe you are using OpenShift. It's okay. I can do it. That's how you should tell them.
Yes, and also they ask one another question: how you are going to deploy a Salesforce application? Basically, I attended Oracle.
See, that is Salesforce. This is Java, Python, Node.js. So they are using one tool, Salesforce. I don't know Salesforce.
Yeah, that is not straightforward as well. I seen some more.
You are working as DevOps engineer for web applications. Salesforce is different thing. And they will ask you SAP. You deployed any SAP application. SAP is another tool. Salesforce is another tool. Those are tools. Those are just tools. So these are standard programming languages. Java, Python, Node.js. These are the standard programming languages. Okay. So if you work in Salesforce application, then you will understand what is the Salesforce application structure. So we learned any Java development here? We learned any Node.js development here? We didn't learn. We just understand the project structure. So how the Java project structure will be, how the Node.js structure will be, how can we package them, how can we deploy them? That's what we learned here. Similarly, if you are deployed into the Salesforce application also, we'll do the same thing. You will understand the Salesforce project structure, and then you can proceed with the pipelines.
Okay.
You mention any Salesforce?
No. I attended a Oracle company. They are asking all the maybe they are asking all the applications.
So maybe they have some Salesforce clients, so they asked you. So this is the foolish thing they are doing. So you don't have any Salesforce in your project, then how can they expect Salesforce?
But definitely they are asking OpenShift in Oracle, and they are focusing more on OpenShift. And
Let me tell you again, one company will not focus on one thing. Oracle is a service-based company, and there are multiple projects, multiple clients. If another client come up and I want to use EKS, do you think they will reject? So it is completely based on the project business requirements. I have my entire infrastructure in AWS, then why should I use OpenShift?
Yeah.
So don't generalize. Okay? So
And
don't
also,
generalize entire industry is using GitLab, entire industry is using OpenShift. OpenShift is very costly tool, very expensive. If it
yeah.
is on-premise, maybe we can consider to use OpenShift. If it is cloud, then why should I use another tool? We have already the solution available in cloud.
Yes. Sure. Currently, we are pushing the image to Docker, right? But
Yeah.
we are giving Docker login in the terminal. Is
Yeah.
it possible to automate without giving login as well? So like
You have to provide the credentials somehow.
that is
Either in the
secrets
agent
or
field.
credentials.
So that is with the credentials option. Okay, let us implement right now. there will be a simple syntax with credentials. Sorry. So you will store credentials ID in the Jenkins, and then you will get it password and username, and then you have to run like this. Okay. So I'm doing Java here, shipping project
Okay.
and CI/CD. Let me just check what happened to this. So Java in our company, in our project, we got suddenly a Java requirement. So, and then we started doing our shared libraries. They said their deployment platform is EKS. So I'm just developing Java EKS pipeline. So this is the pipeline. Okay. If it is Java, it is not package.json, it is form.xml. And there is some method called read maven form read maven form. Okay, just like our read what we implemented for Node.js. This is read JSON. So this is nothing but read maven form. So we already have the plugin available. And then we got the group ID and we got the version artifact ID packaging from the form.xml. We got the version and install dependencies is nothing but maven package. Okay, we should have maven available in our workstation. And then unit testing, SonarQube, and the build is nothing but maven package only. Let's say this is build here. Maven package. Okay. So let us go to our documentation. So we have we have our installations we need to do in our agent. So let me take the agent. So Maven should be installed inside the agent. Okay. That is one thing. So I created just now one shipping project, okay, in Nexus. And here we are pushing the artifact. Now we will implement here our with credentials. It's a simple step. So don't worry. So generally, whenever you don't know a simple thing, don't expect someone should teach. Okay. So we already discussed multiple sessions. Now you should be able to do a simple Google search and understand what you have to do. Okay.
Okay.
So let me run this. This is the first time. Just imagine you got some requirement to do Java pipelines. You can tell them as a challenge also. So you are till now you work with Node.js and Python pipelines, and suddenly they asked you to do Java pipelines. So you search the internet, you understood. So there is a form.xml like package.json and requirements.txt. So I understood the form.xml format. There will be group ID, artifact ID, packaging format, and version. I understood Java projects will give us jar files. Okay, and we set up SonarScan. I set up I created Nexus repository. And then while doing this, I faced a lot of challenges. And then I discussed with the SRE team to understand how can I push this. And it took me around 2 to 3 weeks to complete this pipeline. You have to tell like this.
Okay.
So here, microservice, if I just click build now, so there is some error. 6425. Number 64. Expecting some simple mistake here. Yeah, there is no comma. So whatever we did manually, so I just kept it in Jenkins pipelines as stages one by one. And so it is saying shipping.jar file does not exist. So the structure is like this. So whenever you install a project, there will be a folder called target. And inside the target, we will have Jenkins file. For example, we'll have jar file. For example, let me write here sh ls hyphen cd target or ls hyphen l target. So shall we get that? ls hyphen l, if I say remoting, okay. I want to list down what is available inside the target folder. So Java projects, whenever you do Maven package, there will be a folder created target. So we have seen that in our shipping also. You can see. So inside target, there will be a jar file created. So now if I just build it, so you can see there is shipping hyphen version dot jar. So if you see our shipping project here, shipping hyphen version dot jar, that is the file format. Okay, now I have to create access like this. Now target component hyphen version. So I'll take this hyphen version dot jar. Now it will match target folder. Component name is shipping hyphen 1.0 dot jar. You can check here shipping hyphen version dot jar. Okay, so that is the format. So we will have the jar file available. Now, if I do build now, so this image is pushed to Docker Hub. Okay. So, but I logged in here inside the agent. Now I want to log out. So Docker logout. Okay. So it is removed. Now, so there is something called with credentials. Before that, not only for Docker, for anything which have the username and password, if you want to, if you don't want to keep it inside agent, manage Jenkins. So we have the credentials and store it here. Not add new domain. Global credentials, add credentials. I'm just saying, I'm just keeping here my credentials of Docker. Okay, so this is a secret. And password obviously a secret. Okay, it is just give some ID, Docker authentication, and description also. So now you have the credentials stored in Jenkins master. This is not in agent. This is stored in master. So at runtime, you want to get the credentials into the, you want to get the credentials into pipeline, okay, with credentials, Jenkins. If you want to see the syntax, let it build. So here, while building, you don't need any credentials. While pushing, you need credentials. Okay. So this is the syntax. And it should be inside script. Okay, so this is the syntax with credentials and what is the ID you gave here? So Docker authentication I gave here. So then Jenkins, it will fetch this ID and it will get the username and it will store into the username. It will get the password, it will store into the password. Okay. I don't want to print the password. I will just print the username and then show you. So this is the syntax, this is the script. I'm just commenting this for now. Okay. This with credentials is not only for Docker. Any system, if you want to connect through username and password, you can use that. What is the username? It is saying masking supported patterns of username and password. So you cannot print it. Okay, what I said, because I stored username also as secret. So you cannot print them. So I will directly use this. Okay. So here I have to just do Docker login, and where is that? -u. So what is the username? This one. And what is the password? -p $password. Okay. Is shell. Keep them in shell block. So now you can push this. Okay. You can see login succeeded.
Yes.
And this is deleted also after that. The workspace is cleaned up and you pushed it. So, and we want to push to ECR, Elastic Container Registry, just like Docker Hub. So one registry where you can store your images. Okay, so if it is private, you need to provide all the authentication. So let me keep it public for now. And then, so our image name is shipping. So here. Minus. Okay. So this is the repo we just created. If you see here, you can get the commands to push. So now you have to push like this. Public ECR.aws is the URL, and this is like the username. This is like the image name, and this is the version you want to push. Okay, if it is public repository. Okay, if you want to make it private, I'm just deleting. For private, you should again send the authentication. Private. So this is going to be shipping. And then image scan is enabled. Create repository. Okay. So now what are the push commands? First thing, you should log in. Now if I run this command within the agent, okay, it is getting logged in because we already have AWS configured. So for you have to log in. So for login, you have this thing. What is this? This is the region we are operating, and username is this same, and password. This is the account and this is the region. If it is in different region, then region name will be different. Okay, so you can. So for this to work, you should have AWS configure done inside agent. Okay, and then you can run this authentication. So there is nothing, you can parameterize this account ID, and then you can parameterize this as a region. For example, ECR push. ECR push. And steps, script. Okay. So what I do, I will create environment here, account ID equal to, I will keep this region equal to, I will keep this. Okay, so if they are operating in different account, different region, for example, you may have an application, they are operating in different account and different region. So they have to pass credentials thing like this. Okay, you know the parameters, they have to input the parameters, or they have to give some configuration in their Jenkins file like this. So this is the config map. And that is this, yeah. So ECR push. So it is shell. So ultimately we are going to use shell only. This is the command. So this command you can just give as region, and this is account ID. Yes, now you will be logged into this repo, but you need to retag that. How can you retag is this the one. This is the format. Again, account ID, region, and component. Okay, so now Docker tag. So this is the one right now, and you are retagging this as, this is again account ID, dot region,
One 15th line region spelling.
okay, and this is the component. Okay, so now you can push it. Docker push, and the version is also like this. So now you can push this one. Okay. So if you are using ECR, you don't say I'm using Docker Hub. Okay, because Docker Hub is public. So nobody wants to push their applications to the public repo. Okay, even you can purchase the private, but still it is into Docker company servers. So maximum we avoid to push our application into someone else's servers, either core code or packages, whatever it is. Don't say you are using Docker Hub. You can say you are using ECR. So from failure, what is it? No such property TKR. So format is wrong somewhere. Just keep them inside. It's always safe to keep in braces. Otherwise, some formatting will be wrong. Okay. So it is pushed. You can just come and then check here. So our image is pushed and you can see the scanning details. So there are a lot of medium and low. There are critical also. So what is this critical? It is saying there is no information. There is no description here. Some package. Okay, you can see this bzip2 SQLite. So these are coming up from the image itself. Okay, so what they are saying, there is no description. bjet2 decompress in bjet2 out of box, right? When there are many selectors. So this is not in our control actually. So what are we doing here? Shipping. So this we are the base OS. This is coming from the base OS, JRE Alpine. Okay. So these packages are already installed inside them. So maybe the recommendation is to move from 8 to different OS. Okay. So there is one more thing, OpenJDK something. It is saying vulnerability in the Java SE embedded product of Oracle. And then so this is the description you should generally do. CV is critical vulnerability something. Let us search this. This is not our part actually. Common vulnerability and exposure index. So based on this, any scanning results, okay, not only open source scanning. So this is image scanning, right? You will get the results like this. So there will be some package that may cause problem, and the problem is like this one. And they have to give the solution also, but AWS don't have that thing till now. Sandbox, this is the vulnerability. Okay. So they are saying to, so these are the versions affected. So obviously you need to migrate to different version. Migrating to different version cannot be done immediately. So generally what happens in our projects, when you find some results in the scanning, okay, so you see this and they will give you one solution, migrate to different version. Okay, so you'll prioritize, you'll keep 2 or 3 months, and then you will give a time to migrate, you will give a time to developers to migrate to the different version. Okay, so this is not our control, just scanning is our control, and checking this and clearing these things are from the developers. Okay, so mostly if you upgrade this version, then you can see how many things you can filter. Okay, so these things also will be gone if you upgrade the OS. So you can summarize this shipping project, at least in next 3 months, they should immediately migrate into different Java version, okay, based on the description. Okay, so there are something else like Pishlock, that is one other scanning tool. So they will give you solution also sometimes. Okay, and they are giving the low defects, you don't need to immediately take care. So critical and high, you should start working with them immediately. In the sense, you should inform developers we are getting critical and high alerts. Okay, so we cannot proceed with the deployments after 3 months if you don't clear that. Okay, so we got this image. So then in your Kubernetes manifest, you need to provide this image. Okay, instead of just join DevOps / that one, you have to give this image. So don't say you are using Docker Hub, you can say you are using ECR. Any questions?
And regarding monitoring, Nagios tool.
Nagios is long back outdated.
Okay.
It's completely outdated. That's what Sam. I'm repeating again. Don't concentrate on the tools. Okay, concentrate on the concept. Nagios is outdated and it's very, very long back. We taught that in 2017.
Okay.
Arvind?
Shiva, so we have to say that we are building the images in Docker and pushing them to ECR, and from there we are pulling to our manifest files. Is that
Yes.
correct?
So image repository is in AWS, right? And EKS is also in AWS. It is very easy and it is safe also. So now the image, you have to give this one in our manifest files. So the image should be like this. Okay. And to do this, ECR is one service. EC2 is one service. ECR is one service. Pods are running in EC2. So ultimately, our EC2 should have ECR access. Okay. So this thing, come here and go to our instances. And take our role. Permissions, attached policies, ECR. Amazon Elastic Container Registry public full access. It's not public. Ours is private. Is ECR access to EC2, or else let me check one more thing. Create inline policy. Choose the service EC2. So this one. ECR. There is some policy we need to attach. ECR is not coming here. Okay, let me take EC2 and then check what is available. Some roles already. Okay, just wait. Oh, we already have Amazon EC2 container registry read only. Okay, you can see it can list, it is already attached as part of EKS, I think. So we can just push and then check it. Okay. So I'll create a namespace. kubectl create namespace. RoboShop. Okay, I'm not trying to make the application ready. I'm just trying to, my intention is to push the image to ECR, scan there, and then in the image in the manifest files, I need to refer the ECR repo. Okay. So in the pipeline, so Java EKS pipeline, EKS deploy. I'm just using kubectl apply for now. kubectl apply. I'm just testing whether EKS can pull it up. Okay. So it should pull. No, sorry, it should pull automatically from the ECR, like -waves. Okay, so this agent I need to update the authentication. Sorry. Yesterday cluster is available here. So AWS EKS update kubeconfig region US East 1 EKS port cluster. So it is success. So we should just see kubectl get ports -n propose shop. So it is able to deploy. So now what we did, so we got a sudden requirement of Java project, and then we created shared libraries. So we then attached CICD, and we then applied CI/CD for our shipping projects. So tomorrow you are now already you are working with Node.js and Java projects as DevOps engineers, and suddenly there is another module that is with Python. So Python, what is the difference you do? So in Python, it is requirements.txt. Payment. It is nothing but requirements.txt. So like however npm install you did, you will run this command, and then yeah, that's it. You will zip the application. You will zip the application and you will push it. And we already have Docker files and manifest files. You will create ECR repo, and then you will push it to, and then you will deploy. So this is the whole story you should explain. So now if any .NET project comes up, or again, or any Go language project comes up, the same process you will follow. You will understand the structure of that project. Okay. If it is .NET, there will be something like, so .NET is very rare actually into the Linux. Okay. So similarly, like package.json, requirements.txt, form.xml. So there should be some build file, okay, where they have to mention the versions. And the common process is there will be a build file, and you have to install dependencies, package the application, push it, and deploy. So this is the whole story you have to explain. Okay, so 90% of the projects, so they use more than 90% of the projects, they use Java, Node.js. Okay, Python also, nobody will use Python for the web development. Enterprise applications, they always use Java for web development. Okay. Yeah, so now Santosh Avla, you have some question.
Hi Shiva, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Yeah, Shiva, we have to facing the yesterday issue, right? In our my project, yesterday we have to build a one Kubernetes cluster. We got the pullback image error is getting when the pod is running, pod is crashing automatically. You get the image pullback error we got. So that is a like, what is we have to take that action on that.
Okay, so these are the deployment issues. So again, so what are the issues you face while deploying the applications? So one is image pullback off,
Yeah,
and the other one is crash
Eva-
loopback container.
yeah, evacuate.
So these two errors we face. So what is the description of this image pullback off? What do you understand?
So we are creating the again one more image and pushing into repository.
So this is the question from the interview. What are the issues you face in the deployment? So you can say we are using Kubernetes as our deployment platform. Okay, all our applications are microservices. We used to face two kind of errors. One is image pull back off and crash loop back container error. Image pull back off, when you describe that part, it is saying image is not available. Okay, maybe you pushed with one version, you are trying with different version in the manifest. So image pull back off is nothing but, so I'm not able to pull the image, so I'm going back. So that is the error. Image is either not available, okay, or there is no, if I remove this one, if I remove this policy, okay, so then obviously you'll get image pull back off error. Okay, so two reasons. Image is not available or you don't have permission to pull. Okay, so this is one reason. So this is the question, direct question. And crash loop back container. So maybe container Docker file, right? So what I said in Docker. So your command or entry point should run for the infinite time. Should keep container busy. Okay, so this command is not good, or else something like config map not found, secret not found, okay, PV or PVC if you are referring, not able to bind. So these are the reasons. Okay, so we have seen in our deployments, we were getting two errors, and pod was also in pending stage. So why it is in pending stage? Maybe these reasons also. Okay. Sri Hari.
Like, are we going to build the EKS cluster with Terraform, Shiva?
Yes, I need to develop that module. So I already developed for last patch. I will update that. But that is not a worry as DevOps engineer. It is a Kubernetes administrator work. Not this one. Okay, I already developed. I forgot where I kept it. Okay, I'll inform you in the Slack. That module you can use. Just give me 1 or 2 days time.
Shiva, is there anything left on Kubernetes, Shiva? Like,
Kubernetes, it's done. See, I cannot give everything as per the Kubernetes documentation. I cannot cover 100%. Okay, so maximum things I covered.
okay, yeah. So Shiva, and architecture, can you please explain architecture for
Kubernetes architecture. Okay. So if I had explained this in beginning, it was very tough. Now you can see it is very easy. You know this already. So this is the control plane. So control plane is nothing but, please type in the chat, control plane is nothing but what? The master.
Cluster master.
So control plane is nothing but master. These are the nodes. So anything master node architecture, master slave architecture, there will be one master component. There are multiple agents, just like our Jenkins master agent. So master is communicating with agents, right? So what are the control plane components here? Kube API server. So what this one do? Kube API server. So this is when you run kubectl commands. Kube API server is the one getting those requests. So when we explain about Docker architecture, whenever you run Docker command, Docker daemon is the one handling the requests. Just like Docker daemon here, Kube API server, by the name itself, you can understand. So it will respond for the client requests. Client is nothing but kubectl commands. Okay. And there something is called scheduler. So this scheduler, what it does is monitoring the nodes, and their CPU memory resources. Now it will decide where to schedule your pod. Okay, so these are the master components. So Kubernetes is a master node architecture. Master components are Kube API servers. Kube API server is the one responding to our kubectl commands, and then it will send that to the scheduler component. Scheduler will check the worker nodes and it will decide where to schedule the pods. And there is another thing. So this is kube scheduler I explained. Kube control manager has something like deployment controllers. There is something. Okay, etcd is nothing but the database for Kubernetes cluster. So the entire configuration of Kubernetes is stored inside etcd. This is the database. And we will have replication, this one. So control manager, there are different controller managers. Okay. So there is one control manager, that is replication controller. So what this one will do is always monitor number of replicas you requested. By any reason, if a pod is deleted, this is its responsibility to immediately create the pod. So there are multiple controllers. You can just explain this node controller. So node controller, you saw that whenever I delete one node, it will immediately create another node. Okay. Monitors worker nodes. They are up and running and connected with master or not. You can say endpoint slice controller. This is saying link between services and pods. And this one is generally for roles and role bindings, service accounts, those things. So you just explain Kubernetes architecture contains master and node components. Master component or control plane component have Kube API server, which will respond to the kubectl commands, and then it will pass the request to the scheduler. Then scheduler will decide where to create the pods, and then etcd is the database where Kubernetes entire configuration is saved. And then we will have multiple controllers, so like replication controller, so that can monitor the number of pods, and then node controller that can monitor the nodes, and service controller. You need to give exact same name, service controller, which can monitor the service and pod linkings. and accounts controller that can monitor the role bindings and service accounts. So that's it. Okay. And node components is nothing but kubelet. Kubelet is the one connecting node to master. Okay, so this is the main component. So in Kubernetes nodes, kubelet is installed. So this is the main component that can connect node with master. Okay, and kubeproxy is like the networking between the pods. Communication between pods. And then container runtime. Container runtime is nothing but, so Docker is like Docker is a full suite. So what it has image repos, it has container runtime. Container runtime is nothing but which runs the images as containers. Okay, so inside Docker, we already have that container runtime, but Kubernetes, it will use different container runtime. Okay, so that is nothing but container T. So, you know, Java, we use JDK or JRE as a application runtime. And similarly, Node is the Node or NPM is the Node.js runtime. Similarly, here container runtime should be there to run images as containers. Okay, so this is the architecture you have to explain. So that's it. So these are master components. Node components are only three: kubeproxy, kubelet, and then container runtime. The master components: kube API server, etcd, and then scheduler and controllers. Explain at least 2 controllers. Then Kubernetes architecture is done.
Okay, thanks, Shiva.
Yeah. So Terraform Kubernetes, I concentrated heavily because that is the more work we do in our projects. And that is where interviewers will mostly concentrate, because these two are the latest technologies and everybody is struggling to learn and practice these technologies. So I concentrated. And another thing is shared libraries. You make sure you have to explain you worked on Terraform, you worked on Kubernetes, and you worked on shared libraries. Okay, shared libraries is covering many things. So it is covering Groovy syntax, it is connecting SonarQube, Nexus, CI/CD. So it will prove that you know you can write the scripts, you can manage the pipelines, you can understand the containerization, you can understand the infrastructure. It's basically you can write anything. It's not that you are working in UI. You can write anything through the scripting mechanism. Okay. If you are doing everything through the scripting, that is nothing but GitOps. We are storing everything inside Git. That is the single source of truth. Yeah, we have some pending things, Python and then Prometheus and Grafana. I will announce to Python course. So we will add you for that by default, okay, without any charges. Okay, shortly. So till that time, just go through this channel, Telusuko. He will teach Python syntax. I'll send you an email and in Slack also. And I will explain the use cases where, and then we will do it, how we use Python in our AWS cloud. Okay, I'll repeat that syntax also, don't worry. Very shortly,
Shiva,
I will, yes.
one question again. So probably it may be silly. So once we build the image, we are we can directly push to the EKS, right? Why we have to push to the Docker? Why
That's
we
what
are
I'm
using
saying.
Docker push, and
That's
then
what
we are pushing to
that's what I'm saying. Till now we use Docker Hub. Now don't say you are using Docker Hub. Just say you are pushing to the ECR.
Yeah, ECR. But in our pipeline, we are pushing. First, we are doing a Docker push, then we are doing ECR push. Sure.
You remove that. See, I explained this to explain this in text.
Okay, got it. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, even to ECR, obviously you have to use Docker command because that is the software we are using to build the images.
Okay, but see, these images will be still there in the Docker Docker Hub only, right, Shiva?
Yeah, you remove them. See, don't use Docker at all. Just say you are using ECR.
Okay. But if they ask how you are building the images, so then we have to say we are using Docker.
See,
Okay.
I'm saying Docker is a full suite. So Git is GitHub is a repository where you store, but still you are using Git command only, right?
Yes.
So the same command you use to push anywhere, either Bitbucket or GitLab or whatever. Similarly,
Yes.
Docker is as a building. It's your wish where you push, but for building purpose, you need to use Docker only. This one, this is the location where you are pushing.
Okay. Yeah.
Sri Lakshmi Tatipatri.
Good morning, Shiva.
Good morning.
Actually, that's all for AWS concepts, or is there any pending, Shiva, we have to learn? We'll check
The
it.
AWS concepts are very huge. So I almost covered. One thing we can see is CDN. So I'll cover
EBS also there. EBS S3.
EBS. What is
Yeah.
EBS?
Elastic Block Storage, something one I have.
That's what we used.
Okay.
In volumes, that's what we used, right?
Okay. So.
Hi Shiva, good morning.
Yeah.
Actually, my doubt is regarding the monitoring. Actually, by using any monitoring tool, we are going to be check the nodes health only, na? But
No,
parts,
you can check anything.
so here containers will contain our application and containers are running inside the parts. Those parts will help to through monitoring tools we are going to be observed or Kubernetes will taking care those help.
If it is deleted or if it is crashed, it will try to restart. Kubernetes will try to restart. So sometimes, for example, if your laptop is not working, just a restart will work.
Okay.
So similarly, Kubernetes will try to restart.
Okay.
If it is not able to run, then Kubernetes after 6 restarts, it will stop. So then we will install Prometheus actually. So that will give us the pod's health also.
Okay.
Prometheus.
Okay.
We'll discuss CDN. Okay, we will cover. So don't stop yourself. Okay, you can try cover these things through the internet till that time. Just try to learn something. Yeah, that's all. So we'll be giving a lot of entry questions. I was testing this GitHub discussions also. Okay. So where we can effectively discuss interview questions based on the label. So you please be active. To write the answers. We will give the answers, but you have to also think about the answers. Example, I'm just testing this one, whether this will be helpful or not. We will have labels feature so that you can filter based on the topic, and you can all of you write the answers. We will select the best answer. So this is the single location where you can come and then check for all interview questions. Okay, just don't learn it as question and answer based. Practice and be able to explain confidently.
Shiva, can you share that interview recordings, all recordings for all people? At least we will try
Okay,
to
so
listen daily.
I'll share it to all. Today I will share it to everyone.
Yeah, please share.
Okay, thank you so much. All the best for your careers. And yeah, soon we will launch that course and then we will invite you all. Thank you so much. Be in touch. So we will have the interview sessions from next every Thursday. QA session is going to be the interview preparation session. So we will have all the link available. It will be automatically updated into your Google Documents. You can join to that session. We will discuss the interview questions only in that session. Okay. So
Shiva,
resume
can
session.
we expect in December month for Python or?
Yeah, within this December only.
Oh, okay, thank you.
We will conduct one resume session on Saturday. So
Okay.
again, I will invite you to all. So I will bring one HR. So she will tell you what they expect while you take the screening call and in your profile. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shiva. Thank you for good teaching and thank you for motivating us a lot.
Most welcome. So be active at least next 3 or 4 months until you get the job. Continuously apply for the positions, even there is a transition.
Okay.
All the best. See you again. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining with us. See you. See you on next Thursday for the interview session. Okay. So there we will discuss Linux. Bye-bye.